Hello and welcome to a game called Understand. It is a weird first impression that it gives. Like everything is incredibly minimal. I think these are save files. That's the limit for audio. This is full screen versus windowed. I think that quits, and this is just the entire thing to start. But the game is all about doing stuff and seeing how it works. Which is weird. Yeah. It's interesting. It's weird, but it's like it's neat. What is it's very specific. I guess this is introducing the basic premise where you have to like this one downward triangle and a square are all three. And yeah. Okay, and I can right click to clear. So I have to click one of these. I need one of these, one of those, and one of those. So if it's up, down, down, up, down, square, it's not there. Yeah, so the first part shows it, and then you have to interpret based off of the initial idea. That's... See, the third one is... that, and the order you do it does matter. Where this is number 1, this is number 3, so it might not matter the order, but this gets 1 and 2. Huh. There's plenty of ways to try and approach it, but so things it can do: up, this is down, that's down, down. So you only want to interact with the downs, making it into a... Do I have to get both of those? No, that's not possible. Oh no, it is. I have to start from here. Oh, okay. Somehow that felt like the triangle's pointing this way, despite the fact that it's clearly pointing down. There are too many triangles. But I can go up, but then I can't go down. It was a bar, not a bunch of dots. And then this is the same, but upwards triangles. Yes, I need to get all of them. No. Yes, okay. It's kind of cool. But it's very cool. I can't do that, right? I can. Okay, I just need to get them all. I can interact with other stuff just fine. Okay, it doesn't always build off of the initial. Sometimes it has additional stuff that is unrelated. It just mostly builds. It's interesting. If I wanted to, then I have to have a way to go back, which would need me to do. A little bit more. Should I do that? Okay, so I'm assuming one of these is avoid the triangle. And then one of them is. Yeah, one is avoid the triangle. One is the circle. One is the square. I can probably start at the square. And then one is getting all the stars. Maybe I have to start. Maybe I have to start at the circle. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I can. So I guess I could go forward to learn maybe a little more if it is more approachable, but I can't press that star until everything is done. So yeah, you can avoid getting locked into one easily enough. I like it. It's very minimal, which makes it relaxed. Oh, already wrong. Already wrong again. Because I have to get this. I'm assuming I start with a circle, end at the square. To get this, I guess I could start here, but no, it has to go that way. The circle has to be next. That. Actually, if I draw that, I get no understanding. So the gauge is different because you don't get hints by way of seeing step-by-step progression. I'm interpreting. which means the rules could be different. This has to go there. Start has to, this end and that end have to do that, I think. Unless I don't need the stars. I could start from any of the circles if it's following the previous rules. Like this could start there or there. That needs to end that way. I think it's a simple math that I'm not doing, but like input to a zone, there's X number of exits, like the bridge, where if there's an uneven number of bridges, it's impossible to go somewhere and back if they collapse after you walk over them. There's some weird logic puzzle. Oh, that I heard it in like 7th grade, very long time. Stands out less than the as you approach something you always like 50%, 50% infinitely, but you never make contact, but you do. But you also don't because physics on tiny scales. I guess I could be going through triangles if the rules have changed, but yeah. Gotta be careful with the triangles, but this needs to come from here. This needs to come from there. This could be approaching from a different angle. I can't do that. Once it's blocked, it is blocked. So that line there can be approached from below or above. Kind of wish I could just leave that there and trace how I wanted, but so if I come straight this way, it's troubling. This can't go around. This cannot, without interacting with that, I can't approach it from this direction. Oh. I need to pick up the pace. Of course, I am assuming the rules are the same as this, so it could be the inverse somehow. It could be something like that, which I'm glad I actually tested that. This would be good to look at. Because if there's a way to adjust this path, okay, I guess I was confused by okay, I'm clicking wrong. Okay. I was confused here because I assumed incorrectly that it was following the same rule that I had assumed here, or the rule that was here where you can't go through that. But this one I never actually tested that you could do that until it was necessary, which is what confused me there. So yeah, they are consistent. I just didn't test properly on that one level. It's a good trick, I think, for keeping in mind that they're in a chain of levels following similar concepts, but they don't follow the rules from one sub-level to the next. But if I look at this, if I move to a different step, I can't go that way. I can't go that way. This is a one-way trip, either from there or from there. That leaves me at this intersection or this one. I mean, those two are kind of the challenge to me that I'm not thinking about. If I did that. Okay. Oh no, now it's getting funky. Okay, that is available. It's branching. Okay, so if I do that, that's only one. That's two. That's three. That's four. So no circles. No circles. Upward triangles are fine, and I need a square. Huh. This is establishing a new function, is what this looks like. What can I gather? Hmm. What can I learn from these other ones? Might be missing something very obvious. Because that's what this and this, I can't hit that. So yeah, they connect. I need to collect a square if there's a square. I can go through triangles. I do need to end with that. Looks like a Picasso of an owl. It's not this. Oh. Oh, that's funny. I like that. It's also very hard to see exactly what I did because it's just clicking in the same place twice. That's quality. That's a good one. I never would have found it without accidentally double clicking, but square to square. I think this one I just need to figure out which squares I need to combine. Yeah. Not even sure what the rule is here. Oops. Hmm. The rule here looks like it's sort of subtracting or messing with it differently than I expected. Oh, that's weird. That's a good trick. I enjoy it. They never actually establish that that's the issue. It's pretty cool. And I can't do that because I'd have to not mix the two shapes. And then I can't do that because I need space, which is why these were specifically spaced apart. The issue here is that. Oh, because it's always circle start, yeah. Like a nice coloring game. Okay, so this starts with the same premise, but there's going to be a trick at some point where the rules are not the exact same unless I click the same level accidentally. There, it's different. I'm pretty sure, yep. What is the third one? So that gets 1 and 3, leaving a square open. Is there a specific empty square that I need to mark? No. One and one. Hmm. So, the rules as they have been teaching here. The difference might be that this one can start at a different point compared to the previous. Yeah, this one has to be circle to square, but these can be square to circle. This isn't going to be enough of a difference, but... So, rule 3 is somehow applied there and not here. The only guess that I have is having an empty one of these and an empty one of these. Except that would be different from... Okay, I don't know how I cleared that one. I cleared on the first try, but I didn't learn anything from it. Is it the order? Circle, square, circle, square. Or square, circle, square, circle. It is. Okay. Don't overcomplicate it. Cool. Because I keep thinking it's the same rule as the previous one, but it's not. Yeah, so I have to start with a circle. I think the 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, 10 has been a good progression. I don't need to mark all of these. I just need to connect. Huh? How was I... Oh. It said they have to be in the correct... I mean, circle, circle, square, square instead of alternating. This one's alternating, though. What could it be? It's just top left to top right. Maybe. It is. That's a good one. That's really good. Oh, that's really good. Excellent. 'Cause, like, it teaches you the lesson, but like appropriately hidden. It's great. Oh no, it's a different color. It's a mystery. No change in the function though. Oh. Okay, circle to square. Oh, okay. I have to assume that's basically just a property of this type of level. Oh, that's a good one. That's good. Yeah. It's like it's not an uncommon concept, but like the interacting with external functions, but it's still always fun. Hmm. Why is that center? Outer to center, maybe? No, but so far not. So just totally different. Different function. Oh wait, this is not an individual level. See, I can't do that to check stuff. Up, up, up. Some sort of right angle. Except this one doesn't need to be a right angle. This one can be a big loop. But it is only turning at right angles, which everything's always turning at right angles. And this can be done that way. Square, or triangle to square. Square to circle. Circle to square. I wonder if the sounds mean anything. It might just be based on the starting object. Squares make that noise. Or it's... Nope. Circle to that. That. I'm guessing that means that if I start here and there, it's nothing, but if I... The first one's correct with that noise? From the triangle? So I start with the triangle. Maybe. Could just be a random noise though. Just triangle to that? Yes, this is the start based on the sound. This is the end based on the sound. Because start here, end there gives the more positive sound. Negative sound. Negative sound. Positive sound. Start with... Oh, yeah. I guess that would make sense with the lesson from this. Yeah. I guess the only thing I learned is that I think that sound cue is correct. So you can piece together starting point, ending point based on the sound. Which might be useful. Oh, so like 1, 2, 3, where this is... Oh, so this is focused on like shape to shape. This is how many objects there are. And then no idea what comes after that. So most to most. Oh, yeah. Sound cue's not testable there, so it might not be consistent. Oh wait, I don't know how to count. Oh wait, I don't know how to count. Gotta practice counting. 2. 2. 2. Two to 1. 2 to 1. Positive noise. Oh. Starting and ending there fulfills the first condition, which means that the second condition isn't object-based, it's something about the connection. Which might mean that the order doesn't matter. Oh yeah. Just the order. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It is kind of neat how it expands from like, okay, basic, and then more specific, and then totally different functions compared to other zones. 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. If yes, there has to be one of each. That looks like it's extending off the map, off the screen, but I can't scroll, so maybe I'm misunderstanding something. 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, no. Oops, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so the symbol shows up, but it might be different. It might not be spaced as would be expected. One, two, one. 2, 2, 4, 2, 1, 4, 1. Did the order matter? I always did it circle first. I'm surprised that the order matters here. Or the order seems to matter here. It's, you know, the rules is how it works. I just didn't expect that. One, two, one. Not it. I like that it leaves tricks. Obviously, the puzzles would get easier if they didn't leave a trick, so you had to actually understand it properly. It's not just a simple 1, 2, 1. That supplies 2 of those. That supplies 2 of those. A single, a double of any group. Single. Double of any group. Double of any group ending on a square. There's probably some method to the madness of the shape of how these spread out, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to drive me crazy. 2, 2. Square that square. Square to square on the top. Square to square. Top to top. So rules. That does not work. That does not work. That does. That's just a straight line from square to square, but there's no square. Unless I need to, like, make a square. I hope there is a drawing world. We have to, like, draw a shape. It wouldn't really work because you can't close the shape, but... What? How does that work? How does that work with this? Top to top, bottom to bottom. But it has to be... One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. It's 7 long, but... Oh, I don't know how to count. That's why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It counts the starting point. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just a game of counting, connecting to itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which would have also been that. Seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so either the middle ones works. Even number? 1, 2, 3, 4. So connect all the evens. Oh yes, it scales down. That just shows up in a weird location on that first one. On 1, 2, counting up? No. 1, 2. 1 of 3. Okay. So there to there gets me both of those. That gets me nothing. That gets me the second. That's number 2. That's number 1. That's number 3. Not necessarily in that order. 1, 2, 3. What is, so from number 3 to number 2, but this one was both number 2, this was only 1. Could be some sort of sum. Left, up, right, down. Up, right, down, down. So the right has 3 and up has 2. Down, right, up, left. Rule here is 3 and then the 2's. Seemingly. This was 3 to the 2, but this was... one from the 3, and then 2 from the 2's? Because there's 2 sets of 2's, but this is 2 from the 2's. Maybe. 4 stars. 5 circles. 3 squares, and 2 of these guys. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. But that has 2 of the 3's. This is 2 3's, 2 2's. And it's not an even number. Well, I mean, actually could be an even number of spaces, 4 spaces. Four of these, the highest number is 4. 3 of these, the highest number is 3. 2 of these, the highest number is 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. The only consistent line I'm seeing is connecting 3 with 2. And it doesn't matter the other components. What is the other? The square is 3. And the second 2 is... This is 2. The triangle is 1. 5, 4. Counting. Good review from grade school. There's only 1 2. I thought there were 2, but... The empty space is not important necessarily. Except it is. Why is the empty space important? Seemingly. No, it's not the empty space. It's the star? It's 4 points from the 3 to the 2. Is it just that? It has to connect a 3 to a 2 with 4 spaces total? That one seems somewhat unsatisfying. Highest number? No. Not an odd number. Well, maybe an odd number, but maybe a specific. Well, no, this was not odd either. This was 2 to 1. Or 2. Half? 2 and 1. 1 of 2. 3 is half. 5 is half. And it has to include all of 1. It can't use a fraction of. Yeah, okay, half. Not using a fraction. 7. 28. 14. That's full, but that's not done because I missed a level, or I left a level incomplete. No. Oh, I left a level incomplete. That's a kind of interesting one. What's the other picture for the next one? Separating. Ah, okay. 2, 2. Kind of a weird owl is what that looks like to me. Shortest path between... Connect the closest and the shortest via the shortest path? Or for... Nope. Has nothing to do with shortest path. Even number or odd number? 5, 2, 3, 6, 7. Oh, actually, James finished that. And the same way. This is going to always be the same if I don't do that, and that's just adding 2 more. It's always going to be even. And that worked. Why? Is it... No, 'cause it can't be based on, like, percentage of the total area, because that's small, that's more... This is an excellent face. Robot eye, line between for some reason. I know that's not gonna be it. One, two, three, four, five, six, 4, 9, so odd. What is the rule? It's not left to right. But something about that is wrong. The rule here could be... It's not based on that, but it could be... It's not just an issue of that. This doesn't work. That does. If it's centered around counting... I was wondering if it can't have... Well, no, it can, because that's a bent line there. And that works. Does it... One, two, three, 5 between them, 2 between them, 2 between them, 3 between them. It's not that. And it's not that there has to be empty spaces above. Number of turns. Ten turns, 2 turns, 2 turns, 1 turn, 0 turns. I have no idea. I mean, there's 4, 2, 2, 3, so it's not based on being an even number. 2 turns, no turns. 10 turns between them, 2 turns between them, 0 turns between them. That's 2, that's an even number. Could be based... What? I was gonna say it could be based on direct routes, but it's not. Seven, 8, 4. The spaces between are not obvious. That is 4 spaces between them. Oops. 4, 4. Two, 4. Nope, that doesn't work. 2, 2, 2, even numbers. It's a fun shape. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can't connect that last one, so it's not gonna work. Yeah, I wasted 4 spaces. That's wasted. 4. Wasted space. Need to have that sort of line. It could be that. This can't be the first one if it goes this way because I need to connect that. And that can't do that. That can't go there. This has to be, which means then from there it can be that. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Issue is four, 4, 4. That's not gonna work. How do I... Okay, where do I start? I think it's impossible to start with the bottom left triangle because it will either waste this space or that space, unless I have that being the ending, which can't happen because then that space is wasted. So this can't be the start, but it needs to be in the middle. Somehow though, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Wasted space already. How do I use the space above the star? Because the space above the star is very awkward. There are spaces where like 4, 4, 3 doesn't work. 1, 2, 3. I get all. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's never gonna work because then that box is in this space. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 connects their box that. 3, 4 never works. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that will never ever work because I can't get the triangle. And this always has to be connected to there, which means that it has to connect to here. Which in turn could connect I mean, this needs to be filled in. That has to be between those two. I don't think there's any other options. Oh, hello. Those have to go there. How are you? That can connect to there. This can connect here. No, it can't. It can connect there. Then I'm missing a step. Because that's just a loop. Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's somewhat guess and check, but you're using guess and check to figure out what the underlying logic is most of the time. And a lot of them are different. Yeah, it's been a good time so far. Things that could change. I could swap that. So I need to keep that line in mind. This then leads to there. To draw that. Yeah. It's an enjoyable, like, the individual solutions to the levels themselves are sort of secondary. Like it's mostly about figuring out the specific logic, you know? And I think it's interesting. So this is a special level type where the rules are potentially weird. Yeah. It's this one was the simplest example of why I guess this type of level is different. But they each have their own gimmick, I guess. You have to figure out what the gimmick is. Oh, no, yeah, I can't draw from there in this one. What's weird though? Yeah, this is not a normal level, that's for sure, but it's based on counting. This area had a lot of counting based stuff, so I probably need to think about it from the perspective of counting somehow. Except not really, because like this has nothing to do with counting. so far. What can I even learn from these other examples? I can't draw a circle. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's the button to change to window versus full screen. And this is volume. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that because I have no idea. Because two one to 2 5. From here to I'm gonna look through these. If you looked at that one, there to there, there to there, there to there, there to there, circle to square, circle to square, that to that, that to that. They moved like circle to square, then the circle's there, circle to square, circles there, circle to square, circles there, circle to square, that. But if I click it twice, it's not the one, so it's not that. Ah, that's cool. But then I need to end it elsewhere. I need to end it not there. That's cool. Down, over, up. That's really cool. It's also a clear trap, but it does teach the lesson, kind of, if you notice that they are how they're positioned. What if I do that? Yeah, okay, it's about the end point. Wait, is that really? So that's still there. I have to draw that up instead of to the right, but if I draw that, yeah, I can draw that. That's cool. That's a cool puzzle. I enjoyed that. It was confusing. Thank you for saying to go back to the earlier levels. I probably would have not gone back. What is the rule? Circle between the two? Okay, I get it. Oops. Circle, square, circle, square. Squares between them. Oh no, that was kind of the intention. I was trying to get a weird synonym. Maybe it was too many levels of abstraction though. I was thinking if I play it again, assuming I don't beat it today, because I probably won't, I'm only 16% of the way through, then I'll think of another synonym for understand. Maybe not synonym, but like a similar meaning that might be synonym adjacent. Comprehend, follow, weird stuff like that. It probably is too many levels separated though. Oops. No, it's like $5. Gonna make you under. I can't get the tune. Give you up. Eh, gotta make you understand. Is that the tune? I do like that title. I think that's a fun title. Gonna make you understand. Oh yeah, I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. And then it goes into the never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Funny song. Okay. Huh? Huh? Oh, it's a separation. I'm separating the two. Okay. Kind of mean, but I'm separating everything here. That's not. Oh, separating them from themselves. Yep, that's fun. Excuse me. Because that's what the art is. Now I'm separating blank spaces. They're not specifically uneven. It might just be, yeah, different start and end points. Do I need to make only 2 groups? Okay. The goal is to keep the friends together within one group. This is that, well, it isn't, but it's similar to the weird uh, bridge problem that I was thinking about earlier, involving odd number bridges, even numbers of bridges crossing. You can't recross them, and whether it's possible to go back and forth X number of times. Like every time I go up, I have to be able to get back, and then connect there without cutting off the groups. What is that bridge? Bridge and torch? Logic puzzles that deals with 4 people, a bridge and a torch. I don't think that's it. There's a narrow bridge. Yes, that's people having to cross back and forth. Not burning the bridge behind them. I don't actually have to start from there. I can start from the middle. I don't need to make it harder for myself by just starting. Well, I don't need to make it impossible for myself by starting in the wrong position. So I have to separate both groups. I have to make sure that I block the necessary zones. That is weird. That was a weird level. 2, 2, 1, 1. not fully blocking those off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 1, 1. It's not that. It's not this. What does this satisfy? It satisfies one of the conditions. That satisfies 3 of the conditions. That satisfies 3 of the conditions. It doesn't really help. Yeah. 3 conditions, just, oh, it's easy. Only one more. I mean, 75% is generally a pass, so it's done. Yeah, I was assuming it needed to be groups of 2, but it's clearly not just groups of 2. Oh, it is? I thought I tried that already. Huh? I thought that was the first. I thought that was like the second thing I tried. Oh, I must have done that. I must have accidentally separated a bit of a spare. Okay, that's what confused me a good deal. Huh. Okay, so the spaces need squares is probably a central rule. So if there's no squares, there's no spaces. That is just click the eye, huh? I feel like it's a robot, is why I called it an eye. It's just a circle. Why does this... What is... Oh, wait, no. Why is that an issue? Is it the... I mean, 1 to 2 to 4... Even numbers, maybe? Nope, not even. Oh wait, no, I don't know how to count. 3, 6, 10, 2. If it's even numbers... It's not even. It's not. Well, it's even including the square. That's funny. I do like that they can bring back the exact same level visually, and it's a totally different approach needed. Well, they're probably not totally different, just very different. This won't work? Yes. I need to interact with this a bit more to actually understand what they want. It's not just even numbers. It'd be funny if just clicking the circle twice was the solution. I really want one of these overcomplicated looking puzzles to just be that, and it's just that's the solution. And like it follows the logic of the puzzle setup, obviously. But then you could solve it accidentally. Okay, now I need to figure out what the common thread. 1, 2, so 2, 2, 2. It could be that I need to have a group of 2, a group of 1. Don't think that's it. Maybe. Is it? It's not that. Not just one big group. This is in the middle. Those are in the middle. I can definitely see overthinking it because I do that a lot. Okay. Any interaction with the squares is a failure. Which isn't surprising. I've never checked it. Okay. So, from basics. Even split, 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 one side, 2 other, 2 in one area, 2, 2, 2, 1. So it's not based on 2 squares. There's a space between them. There's nothing. Yeah, I think it's mostly... It becomes harder with these because they remove that hint. But it's like, okay, if I do this, 3 of the rules are met. Actually, yeah, if I go here, if I double click circle, first 3 rules, which I assume those 3 rules are circle start, circle end, don't interact with a square. And then the last one is something about spacing out or separating the squares and like the spaces, basically. I just have to understand what the rule for the spaces could be, because it's not this. It could be splitting it all into individuals, so they're all by themselves again. But then I have to fill in those spaces. That doesn't work because I think those spaces are the issue as well, or an issue. So, if I assume that the rule is evenly spaced squares across... Oh, why can't this... What does that break? I think that's the big... This feels like a big component. Where there's 4 spaces total. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3. That instantly is not the issue. It's not an even number of squares. Not symmetry. It's definitely not. Though there is some degree of symmetry there. Maybe if I look at this, it might help. Excuse me. Sorry. Muting did not cooperate. If I just do this. It doesn't help. If I... do that, it doesn't help. Well, I think if you've got the solution to the previous one, I imagine the solution to this would follow fairly directly. Just because the logic would apply. Oh wait, am I trying to separate the squares? Yes, I am, and that won't work. Yeah. I'm just gonna... It has a little bit more potential space to check behavior, though. But it doesn't have much more space. But I can check stuff like... Well, no, I can't really check much because I can't see the progress down here. Because if I can't see the progress, then I don't know if I'm satisfying any of the conditions at all. I know what I have to do. Circle to circle. I wonder if I can satisfy the necessary conditions without... Okay, so this does satisfy the 4th condition, despite not satisfying the 1st or the 2nd. Which I think it is something to do it is definitely something to do with having any blank spaces that exist are in a group with a square. I think that's definite. Where if I... So that doesn't work because it's 3 and 3. Can I separate them into smaller groups? No. These are groups of 2. But it can't be groups of 1. Well, it can be groups of 1. That's I think kind of a confusing element. Because these can't be groups of 3. And this can't be a group of 1. But it's not just judging evenly split. There's some additional factor beyond distributing the squares. So this could be trying to distribute into 3 groups while making sure to not leave blank spaces. It could also be trying to split it into only 2 groups without leaving separate spaces, which it isn't. That's nothing different. I think if I could understand this one, that would help a lot. It could be the number of sides. This is none, this is 2, it's unlikely. Why does this not work? Because is it a ratio? Well, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 6, 12, 16. So it's not necessarily related to that. 2 out of 4, 2 out of 2, 2 out of 6, 1 out of 1. Do any of these other ones? They don't. I know why that one doesn't work, I think, but why doesn't that one work? Like, is it max? It might be max 2, but then if it's max of 2, why would this not work? Could be that it needs to be evenly distributed. Exactly what I just did. Exposure to the outer areas. Maybe they need access to the air to breathe, which they have. See, the only way to get everything blocked off is that type of stuff. I can't get fully separated and fully evenly separated because there's just not enough. There's no spaces for that. Yeah, I just don't get it. There's some like probably fairly straightforward element that I'm just not understanding. I'm gonna try looking at the next level, because they sort of tend to be a tweak on the previous one. They're not always like but they're like similar but different. So you have to have a different approach, and that might spark a thought. So far, it is not. It has 5 rules. Start with circle something something. End with square something something. I think interacting with this is one of those, or it gets rid of one of those. Maybe one of these conditions is this and space, and the other condition is interacting with that at all. Ooh, okay, that gives me this, which suggests that this successful condition is if I interact with this, that fails. That is an even distribution. 4 and 4, leaving that empty. That's fine because all of this non-filled spaces are linked with the triangle. So by that, I've decided that this is even between the spaces, in which case that's not it, because that is even, that's 3 and 3. That's not the rule. One, two, three, four, five, 5, 5, 6 and 6, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. I think that's what the rule is there. I think that's what the final one is, even between all the types. Seven per connection. Oh no, math. 4, 8, presumably 8 tall, so 64? No, that's 9. 9 by, so 72, divided by 2 or 3. There you go, 36. Five, 6, 7, 28, 29, 36, 35, 34, 33, 34, 35, 36. That did satisfy the final condition, so I'm correct on that. But if I split it into 3, 72 is 24. One, two, 3. That satisfies not that. What is the third condition again? Or the fourth condition again? Separation of the two. Oh yes, there's only one. They want to be isolated. Okay. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 18. That needs 6 more spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like counting because it's just not interesting. So I just need to get the correct shape, basically, which I guess could just be 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be something like that. Just space that out correctly. One, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 16, 19, 22. 9, 13, 16, 19, 22, 26. Ugh. Not my favorite. 8 by 96 total, split between 4, 24 each again. Okay, evenly split. Gonna need to be some sort of that type of thing. One is wide. This has also not helped with that previous puzzle at all, I think. One is wide, and the others are big. So I can adjust. 4 times 5 is 20, 24. 5 times 5 is 25. Hey, that was quick at least. General shapes work much easier than counting. Until you then count to check your shape. But maybe 333. No, I checked that actually for this one. I counted 8, 4, 4, 4, 12, and 8. I could have done math. 4 by 5, 12. No, 4 by 5, 8 gives 12. 5 by 7. Oh, it's definitely not that though. It's the only option, but it's not the area. 4, 6, 6. I guess if I include this as an empty space, then that's 5. If I don't, then it's 4. If I include this, then it's 4, and that's nothing. Could it be... No, it can't be a square, because 1 squared would be 1. 2 would not be 6. I bet this is the type of game where the level number will matter, or could matter for a solution at some point. So I need to keep that in mind. Like the 365, then you need 5 of them or something. I don't think the next level helped at all. Guess I could do that to try to establish rules, not worrying about the others, just figuring out the specifics of that. See that? It's not individually packaging these. I really don't know why. I have no idea. Wait, I probably do need to actually draw a little better. Rules. Start has to be nothing. End has to... Excuse me. Alright. That blocks that is the separation of all those. Or separation of one of those. Which wouldn't be the case here. It is circle based. What is the distinction between those two? Why do those levels exist? Unfortunate. I guess I should never search that again. Is it flashing if I... Oh, my mind, okay. Because that's 7 question mark is gonna be a funny level. Yeah, just make sure that I'm careful. Which I don't need to... I hope I shouldn't need to search it up anytime soon. Or search it up, look it up anytime soon. I'm really bad at clicking mice. Is this a balance? Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah. Have a nice night. Wish you well. Yeah, I'm just kind of stuck. I don't know, my focus is not great right now. I really want to finish this set of levels, at least most of them. So both of those work. That doesn't. Why does this not satisfy the third rule? Does it explicitly need to be... It explicitly needs to not be even. Which is why that doesn't work. Oh, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 sort of deal. Which means 0, 3, 1. Makes sense. Oops. How do I get that? Probably by drawing up to there. So to adjust, I have 2 here. If I did that, I have 3, 2, and 2. Assuming that I can't draw like that. Okay, if I start with 4, I could get more, couldn't I? Nope, that's not gonna work. I have to go down. 4, 1, 1 doesn't work. Zero. Zero, 0 does not work. 3. I can't get 3 there. I could end it with... No, the end has to be there. Or the start, actually. That won't work for multiple reasons. But I probably should start from here, because it's either the end or the start. And if it's the start, it's easier to work with. Okay, 1 for that guy. 0 for that guy. 3 for the last. Good. All those are connected. That still satisfies one rule. I have no idea what the first rule is. What is this rule? So that's rule 2 is starting ending with a, or start either starting or ending with a circle. Rule 2 is start ending with a circle, or including a circle. Maybe it's neither. Yeah, it's including a circle. Rule 3 is an even split. This is not even. Even to majority split. Three gives that. It includes that. Okay. Oh no, rule 2 is not interacting with this. That's what rule 2 is. Rule 3 is something to do with the split. And rule 1 might be... No, rule 1 is not starting and ending with the same thing. Uneven split. This is 4, but an even split for those. doesn't need to be separated. Oh, hello. How are you? That doesn't need to separate those. Whoop. It is a puzzle game centered around just sort of figuring out what the rules are and then applying them. You begin with a basic thing that you have to work through, and then you have to actually figure out what the rules actually are. I can show real quick, like circle to square, circle to square. It starts very simple, but it doesn't tell you. It doesn't even tell you what these buttons do. This is audio. This is maximize, minimize. It's all fun. It's all very minimal. Need a more even split than that. I'm pretty sure I need a more even split than that. Because there are 25 spaces, which means like 8, 8, and 9. 8. So that'd be 8. Yeah, it's definitely not just numbers. I split it into 4, 6, 6, 6, 6, and 7. You block there. I don't think that's it. Need to think separately. Some of them are simple, and I'd say a lot of them are not. Yeah, I mean, it sort of is getting progressively more complicated. Like, I can start a new level type where the goal is different, but it's all about specific applications. Like that works, then that. Based on the image here, it looks like things that fit into one another. That, maybe. That. Which way I'm surprised that doesn't work. Maybe it's too tall. This doesn't work because it doesn't fit within. See a rule here. Third rule is don't interact with the triangle, probably. First rule is interact with the circle. Second rule, either interact or end at... Yeah, interact with the square? No, end at the square. Fourth rule is the challenge. Yeah, to end at the square specifically. Relatively open to just sort of clicking. I would have thought that was a good one. The triangle. Okay, so that works except for the triangle. So that fits the fourth rule. So it is, just to make sure that I fully understand, making moons orbiting a gas giant that have like land that isn't ice type stuff. Like not just a frozen moon. Is sort of the distinction you're going with. Yeah, I'm just the land defined in the more traditional sense and not that whole ice is a rock sense, right? That satisfies fourth rule. Does it need to contain that? That doesn't work as kind of... That doesn't do the third rule. Which means that the third rule isn't interacting with the triangle. What is the third rule then? I guess I wouldn't be... If the goal is life, it might be the type of thing that there's a reason why life has not been found. It's just because it's so precise, though microscopic life on a frozen world is different, but I think it basically would make sense if it's rare, and if it's rare, then it'd be difficult to achieve even in a simulation. You could almost make music in this. That's kind of funny. That achieves condition 3. Why does that achieve condition 3? Well, condition 3 has something to do with this, but It doesn't. Is it separating the triangle? If I did this, it's something. Condition 3 has something to do with separating spaces. This does satisfy that though, because there's a triangle there, I guess. Wait, does that make sense? I'm supposed to oh, is it the spaces of the two? The triangle needs to have a separate space. This then becomes that. It needs to be a similar shape between the two triangle areas. Though I don't know how that will work here. If I... Those are similar shapes. Radiation belt. Is it? Or best, not belt. Is it the belt? Van Allen radiation belt. Mm-hmm. It is based on the magnetic axis? Hmm. What is it? What's the one outside? Neptune? Or is it Uranus that is sideways? Because I don't know a ton about, you know, whether. Okay. Because I don't know whether it's. When things are in an orbit around it, I would assume that it's. Sorry. Generally in the same direction as the rotation of the planet. And if it's rotated, I don't think the magnetic pole and the rotational pole can be at 90 degrees to one another. But maybe if they could, that could do something. Based on how the radiation belts seem to be centered, or how they're ro- not on the rotational. That they could be impossible to be opposite. But this puzzle has lost me. Okay, there's a square in the square. That makes sense. The similar, if it is similar, then that makes a lot of sense to me. I can guess why that doesn't work. It's all big squares, so I'm assuming I need to try to get a square, which would just be that. Oh, if it's just squares, that actually is simpler. Except for this bit. Because that's not a square. Tiny little dwarf planet. All alone. Surrounded by... Oh, I just messed up the drawing. Surrounded by unfriendly little asteroids. Did I look at this? I did. I gave up because I couldn't figure out what was up. Or both of those work. Most of this was splitting it almost evenly, but not quite. Yeah. Probably wouldn't want to have to exist in an asteroid belt. Okay, go here. But you probably wouldn't notice too much if you were stuck in an asteroid belt. Okay, not the right. Yeah, 4, 4, 4 is not it. It needs to be more balanced. I'm bad at drawing. Excuse me. If I want to separate these, I need that and that. Or that and that. In some description. Just so many moons that it was like a field of moons. Six. I need one more. I guess if I start there, I can just go straight up. I feel like that, but I need to block off the one to the right. Yeah, but they're all forgettable. Imagine being one of just 274 moons. I don't know. 274. Maybe it's defined as a field, in which case it is. It just feels so. I guess if you had 274 flowers, you might call it a field of flowers. But if you had 274 blades of grass, you probably wouldn't call it a field. It's kind of where I'm thinking about the relative weird definitions that astronomy has. Mm-hmm. That's not it. Do I need to separate these based on the rules? I don't. They can be together. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, yeah, it's the 5 by 5, which means if I split it into 3, if it is a 5 by 5, if I split it into 3 groups, I need 8, 8, and 9. Well, clearly that's not it. That's fine. I mean, once you have enough moons, it's probably expected for it to be different. Oh, it's like the definitions of moons is so like what is and isn't a moon is so debated, I believe. Or like you could call Earth's moon not a moon. You could call any number, however many small weird things that occasionally pass by the Earth, moons. It's funny, I think. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I need 9. Not 8 and 8. Do I need to? Well, yeah, it's like, because I mean, my impression is that there are multiple bodies who to some degree disagree on different specifics. Because if the only definition is your mass is vastly lower, then, like, because the moon is quite big, I just think that there are different. There's an international body, there's an American body that might have different opinions on how it's defined. And because it's purely a human definition, there's not the same, because it's a human definition, it's not like it's probably hard to have a definitive statement. What is it different? Scientific American has an article. I think at some point I saw the different groups that have different definitions. Reading this. I've always assumed that, like, the sun was just what we called our star, but I guess it is Sol, not the sun. Yeah, there's a Scientific American article that I found that's like, what's the definition of a moon? I don't know if Scientific American is trustworthy. I believe it's reasonably, because I've heard its name a lot. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. To the A moon is considered a moon if it orbits a planet, but then there's something that I've heard elsewhere as well about how the sun's gravity tugs harder on the moon than the Earth's gravity does. So you could define it where the moon is orbiting the sun more than it's orbiting the Earth, which makes it more complicated. But then they orbit it together, so it cancels stuff out. And there's just different weird interpretations that are not really that weird. They're just different. Ooh, there's a Hill sphere concept about how far a planet's sphere of influence is. Neptune is so far from the sun that its Hill sphere is the largest of all the planets. It's possible that Neptune has far more moons than Jupiter or Saturn, and we just haven't found them yet. So yeah, according to this article about what's the definition of a moon, it has, in the end, the problem lies in our preference for straightforward simplicity rather than complex nuance. Rigidly defining the term moon is hopeless because it's not definable. It's a concept more than a definition, much like the term planet. Perhaps that's why the International Astronomical Union, the official keeper of celestial names and definitions, doesn't have a definition for what makes a moon. Which I guess basically can be interpreted as it's vague. Which feels kind of like a cop-out, but it is what it is. Yeah. I kind of like the idea of it being like a pair of planets because I don't know, it's kind of a more fun definition in my mind. Four, five, six, six. It's not the number. Seven, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Do you just separate into more groups or fewer? Do I need to do like that? Hmm. Something about Tetsukabra? Oh, Chatacabra. That puzzle doesn't like me. Two. Ah. What a weird monster Chatacabra is. What a weirdo. Hmm. I need this and that to be in the same space, I assume. So block that. Block that. Two. These puzzles keep coming back to like a specific bridge-based logic puzzle that I thought of a while ago near the start of when I was playing this. I don't know if it's technically a puzzle or if it's just a 7 bridges of Königsberg. Yes. Well, it's an unsolvable puzzle, so it's not really a puzzle if it's unsolvable, but that's how this one website defined it. But this plays into that idea, I think. Where that didn't work because Why did it not work? Do I have to start and end with actual spaces? Or do I have to separate the... No. They can be together. Oh, yeah, that one. I messed up there. Okay. Yep. So that needs to block that. Yep, 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 yep. Need to remember. Those need to be grouped up there. And then those need to be blocked. 7 bridges of Königsberg. I don't know the pronunciation. Historically notable problem in mathematics, its negative resolution by Euler laid the foundation of graph theory and prefigured the idea of topology. The city of Königsberg in Prussia, now Kaliningrad, Russia, was set on both sides of the Prakel River and included 2 large islands, which were connected to each other and to the mainland portion of the city by 7 bridges. The problem was to devise a walk through the city that would cross each of the bridges once and only once. By way of specifying the logical task, unambiguously solutions involving either reaching an island or mainland bank other than via one of the bridges or accessing any bridge without crossing to its other end are explicitly unacceptable. I guess the noteworthy thing is that they proved that it was impossible. Was the big important part of that whole task. Okay, this is a weird logic. Oh. Neat. What? Huh. Oh, wrong direction probably. This is not the solution because I need those to be grouped together. What happens if I do this? They push each other. Oh, it's annoying. So, push that over. Nope, already wrong. Can I push? I can. Shoot, that's stuck. Okay, think. I need to connect this to that. Separating. Oh, never mind. I assumed I would have to push a lot more than I did. What do I need to do here? Oh yeah, I need to separate different types. Let's check. Can I... Can I connect to other? Probably not. The goal is separating these in a way that lets me keep them grouped. Sort of like that, but not quite. This won't work, but I mean, in theory, I don't know how you're doing it. Would it be best to like just make an excessive amount of generic stuff, let it all break apart until there's however many would last for a long time, and then work with what survives? Oh, well, so it didn't go far enough there, but that's fine. This is not it. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Maybe you just need a stronger planet. Needs to build some muscle. That's not workable. But it sometimes these specific goals, are they, I guess sometimes could they just not be possible to achieve? Oh, okay. Up, up, grouped. Good. Like maybe some destruction is unavoidable in the process. What is the rule that I'm missing here? I thought the final rule was the grouping. It isn't. What is the final rule? This satisfies the final rule. This doesn't. Is it the number of groups? two groups versus the desired. And that has three groups based on that. That might be it. Mostly it's like, I personally do not know enough to judge whether something is or isn't possible in that astrophysics level. I'm just like, some things might just not happen because this needs to be pushed against a wall. I'm pretty sure that I need either one group of space or no groups. My assumption is that none is the correct answer. I want to just actually that would be one group, so it's probably none. Which suggests that I need to color in everything and end with this being pushed like that, or like that, or like down. This doesn't really achieve what is required. Could it be pushing it down then over? Just a simple structure. Cheap, like a functional, non heavily ornamented castle. Practical. This needs to go towards the wall. It could go up and over if I came up and over. Need a controlled starting point. There's probably a clear and simple path for this. Groups of two. That almost seems kind of close. It's not there, but it's close. I mean, talking Minecraft, I assume you mean early 2010s, right? Which I guess in the span of a millennia, it is still early 2000s in a way. That, that does not work. Okay, that doesn't work because I don't have final separation space. That'll never work, but oh no, I assumed you just meant early. Sorry for the bump. You meant early Minecraft. I just wanted to be certain. Okay, that's not it. Like a castle town type of city, or unrelated to the castle city. I don't like this type of puzzle because it's just sort of draw well. The colors in this game kind of hurt my eyes, weirdly. They're kind of weirdly bright. Like, will the castle town have a blacksmith? Okay, there's like different there are different ways things can exist, I guess. Like the castle. The castle itself in the center. It's a nice village that then has a wall outside of it. Village, more of a town because it's part of the it's connected to the castle, but for me, when I search castle, the first thing that shows up is a TV show. I think I watched it for a couple of years. It was a kind of interesting show. I remember absolutely nothing about it. Why does that fulfill 4? What about that fulfills 4? Is the rule left to right? No. Hmm. rule 1 and 3. So rule 3 is not interacting with that. Rule 2 is ending there. Rule 4 is something about that specific method of connection. Let's go. Not going up. How will you hide a forest? Like, within castle or village walls, it'll have a forest that's shorter than the walls? Or like an underground sort of weird forest, which there are, I think, underground. I think there are, in reality, underground jungles, sort of. But like they generally have an opening at the top, which would still be hidden as an underground forest. I mean, the difference between a jungle and a forest is probably pretty specific. Why does this satisfy 4? This this category is shapes, isn't it? Oh, it's leaving the... It's about leaving this in a desired shape. Yes, okay. Classic dinosaur or scientifically accurate dinosaur? I feel like a scientifically accurate dinosaur would be annoying to draw compared to a classic dinosaur, just with all the feathers. Though there's probably some non-feathered or less feathered dinosaurs. Like sauropods were probably not feathered. Excuse me. Okay, that's fun. I've never been good at drawing. Yeah, I'd say traditionally in many, not like traditional, but like a lot of scenarios, like, oh, drawing is not profitable, so you shouldn't pursue it and whatnot. See, that's a really good image. Like, I don't know, a T-Rex not being able to reach the chalkboard, something with actual arms just teaching normally. A very, very, very small sauropod somehow standing on somehow teaching despite being a four-legged creature or a quadruped. Yeah, more like lizard man. Yeah, 1-3 makes sense there. That makes sense. But I need the correct shape. They're looking for a line. Oh, can I do something like that? Yes. I don't follow anything Roblox adjacent. I just remember a while ago you mentioned that there was some game that had a lot of issues with that. Which I imagine there's a lot of games that have issues with that. Oh no. Did this work? No, because it's too long. Unless I do vertical. Which doesn't work either with this routing. Yeah, this does not work. It has to be horizontal. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it can be both. Maybe it can be a mix of the two. I don't know. This always comes back to the bridge problem. I only can go up and down past here so many times. But is it if you're on a moon with a giant planet that you're orbiting, is it like, I guess it's sort of, is it still technically a solar eclipse if it's so much bigger? It probably is, but it's less interesting when the scale is so different because like it's just a coincidence that the moon when it passes over the sun is perfectly the right size, and if it was, well, in an astronomical scale, if it was a little bit further away, it wouldn't do the same thing. I mean, I guess could, if the planet, or if the moon, if the planet, if the Earth-like moon that the game takes place on orbits perpendicular to how the gas giant, the ice giant, orbits the star, then no solar eclipse is occurring could make sense. I don't know how that would affect anything, if that's even possible to occur, but like if instead of orbiting that way, it orbited sort of the inverse, not inverse, perpendicular. I don't know if that happens or can happen. Okay, I'm trying to get, I think, a line. Oh yeah. Kind of curious. If I just draw this, it does satisfy that because there is a line. So if I draw that, it also satisfies it. If there are two, it also still satisfies it. Good. Which makes this easier, doesn't it? But no, it doesn't. I still need that. There. Ah, that can't be connected. That has to be disconnected because otherwise it's not a line, it's a square. I mean, I have to assume that within Roblox, it's not trivial to make stuff like that work well. I don't know how it works, but 2, 1, fill that. No idea. Not that. I'm making a shape. Okay. Oops. That's not gonna work. Because I'd have to get there and there. I'm trying to get this sort of shape. What can I do? It can't be that. So it has to be that. Oh, I just start inside the shape. And that still doesn't work. I can't just do that. Was it a thumpy? Probably. That sort of noise? If so, then I hit a cable. Oh. I try to replicate it. Hopefully it doesn't make any bad noises. That last one? I hit a screw. Oh no, it's a screw that just holds it together. It's not important. It's a sound-based beacon. You can always find your way, not home, but random, very loud bell noises. Probably just that. It can't be that and that, because those combined don't work. I guess it could be... Oh, does it even need to be the center? Could it be that I'm trying to get? Okay. I mean, I feel... I guess they have to be separate. I feel like... random noises that are like, oh, you get spooked by this sound because you just didn't expect this random sound to occur. It's kind of uninteresting. I could end there. Could be that. Could not be that. That and that. So that plus that could leave me with a simple solution. These both need to end there. Or do they? No, they don't. I can have that and that, which means that. I mean, Minecraft cave noises are the best. Because they're funny to me. Okay, so that doesn't work, obviously, but... Oh, you know what? I know why that obviously doesn't work. That was also an issue. I enjoy the Minecraft cave noises because they're so infrequent. Can I do this a different way? Can I... I cannot. So that has to be an endpoint in theory. Okay, that would never work. And that would be there. Which would bring me back to here, which we need that, which we need that. Which need me to get there, and it's still not enough. Which is a fundamental flaw, but that's fine. Yeah, I guess. I kind of wonder what actually having consistent cave sounds would be like. Actually hearing the cave sounds regularly instead of almost never. Okay, if I start here, I can't do that yet. That's my assumption that I need to do that. I guess it could also be something like this. But even more, it could be a really weird that sort of shape. There stems from scale. Being uncooperative. Okay, that's straightforward initially. Hmm. Oh wait, no, this is shapes, isn't it? Yes, I need to share shapes. Okay, that's at least 3 wide. Let's have some sort of like weird shape like that. I think once I finish this puzzle, I should stop because my focus has been unfocused for a while. Not that I need to focus on the puzzle specifically, just why is that not there? I guess because it's not a single shape, it's a weird shape, and they want maybe they want simple shapes. Three, three, three. Pillars, that's there. That's the line of symmetry. And before that, you were very focused on Roblox and how it has a bad reputation that I think is also partially because of its style and target demographic, as opposed to just the bad things that have happened. Like, Minecraft has a different element because on a presentation level, it doesn't it is definitely somewhat targeted at, kids demographic, like Roblox sort of is, but it has a much cleaner presentation. These have all been rectangles. I just need rectangles. I guess squares are rectangles, but I don't think I can separate those two without a space there, and then I can't make squares. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a reasonably captive demographic already, though. Maybe enough for it to exist. Because I think... I don't actually know when it was made. I guess it technically started in 2004, is what it looks like. 2006 it was released to public, so I mean, it probably didn't look outdated then, but like, even ignoring specific controversies, monetization, all that stuff, bringing in new people will probably get harder and harder if it doesn't fundamentally change its base design, I bet. So I'm trying to get this and that, this and that. Is there any way it could be those two that need to be connected? And actually,